Hey guys, it's Jamie here with Milk Allergy Mom, and I'm here with my allergist immunologist, Dr. Siri.
Hello.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We're going to do a quick video, real quick, and it's real quick, about OIT, also known as oral immunotherapy. We are your patients, long-running patients. We were your strict avoidance patients, and now we're your OIT patients, and we get a lot of questions now about oral immunotherapy, and so we thought we'd talk about it for a couple minutes here in our public Facebook page. So we're going to define it first.
So oral immunotherapy is desensitization to food, and so it takes food proteins and takes kids who are allergic to food and desensitizes them so that they are less allergic. And depending on the child, there's a possibility that we can get sustained long-term desensitization and tolerance so that the child will be actually open to eating the food. So that's a possibility. We often talked about what the good candidates are. What foods can you do? Well, largely we do the foods that are most allergenic, meaning that those are the foods that many kids are allergic to. So milk, eggs, peanut, tree nuts, and of course, any food can be done for OIT as long as we can, define a source and talk about a protocol for it. So really, it could be any food virtually, but most OIT practitioners like ourselves at the Food Allergy Center here in Springfield, Illinois, and Bloomington Normal is going to be, milk, eggs, peanut, tree nut. And so I wanted to chat with you really about your experience because you guys did strict avoidance. And so the question is, when did you decide to go forth and say, Miles, her son, why did you make a change? Because
Right.
it's a question for most parents.
Yeah. It's funny because you're kind of interviewing me today, but this is something that I've been thinking about lately, and it really is a message that I want our community to hear is, we did strict avoidance for 10 or 11 years, and I got to the point where I was very content with that lifestyle for our family. We talk about it here at Milk Allergy Mom a lot, is just embracing, the good, finding the silver lining, making the most of this lifestyle, and that's really what Milk Allergy Mom has always been about, and we still are about that. But what I did not foresee as a mom who's been doing this for over a decade is when my kiddo hit a certain age, even though I was content and his dad was content and his brother was happy to live this strict avoidance lifestyle, not eating in restaurants ever. We did not eat in restaurants, minimizing vacations, just really limiting our lifestyle, but saying this is okay. We are all willing to do this to keep our allergic child safe. But what I did not foresee was at some point the child with the allergy saying, I'm not okay with this. I'm starting to see things that I'm missing out on. I know you are giving me the equivalent of what I'm missing out on. I know you're making it better than what I'm missing out on. I know you're trying to, of course, these aren't the words of a preteen, but I know you are trying to compensate for me, and I would just try to say, buddy, this is enough. Like, we are doing the best we can. This is going to be fine. And he was just like, I don't like this. And so there was a lot of emotional and mental things that we had to deal with. And that is really, I knew that you were doing this kind of treatment. In fact, we tried it when he was younger, and not knowing a lot of the things that we know now, I ended up being a dropout of your desensitizing program.
I'm going to give you an A now.
Yes, I dropped out because I didn't think that it was working. Some things happened with our situation that I was just like, I don't think it's working. But now we know from more science that actually what was happening was exactly what the trend would be if you're desensitizing something. So we dropped out early. And restarted this back up when he decided, I want to do this. I want to try this. And the bravery and the willingness to go through, it's a lot of work, and it's been it's been a few years now in, and we're still not anywhere near the end of the tunnel, but it's been a really fun adventure for us, and so many rewards and benefits have come quickly because of your protocols, which have been really unique compared to what we've seen in other places and what we hear from our community. Your approach has been a slow and steady approach, which has been good for my anxiety, and it's been good for our kiddo to have some immediate rewards and some immediate changes that he was wanting to have in his life that made it worth it for our family. And we're still totally in the process, and it's been pretty smooth so far. I'm always bracing myself, knowing from being part of this community that something can always pop up. But yeah, so no regrets.
How old was he when he kind of started back up? You know, obviously we started
Yeah,
baked in milk
I think
first.
it's 11 we started doing, but there was a protocol that we had to do before. We had to get the allergy bucket under control before we could start saying, okay, we're going to desensitize milk. So it's been a couple years of that protocol, but starting at 11. I think he didn't really eat something new that he really wanted to eat until about 12.
So, you know, with the successes you've had, we've, you know, had so much fun following you on Facebook and things that I didn't even realize that you guys hadn't done. Like, you guys had never gone out to a restaurant. I was like, whoa.
We were pretty hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really kind of neat seeing those experiences, you know, holding a donut for the first time from Krispy Kreme and stuff like that. That was really cool. So if you had to do it all over again, would you have started earlier, and what age would you have started?
Oh, man. Would we have started earlier? I wish we wouldn't have dropped out at the 7-year-old age. I know that people are starting earlier. I know your office will start now at like age
2, 3.
Okay, 2 or 3. Gosh, I feel like there's a right answer to this, and I don't want to get it wrong. Boy, when he was 4, we were really trying to decide what the heck. School was coming down, and that really was a big pressure time for me. We ended up homeschooling, but I will be the first to admit we homeschool because of food allergies. It ended up being a silver lining to food allergy lifestyle, and we love it, and we're still doing it, and now we don't want to change that. So maybe it was meant to be that we didn't desensitize food allergies when he was 4, but that really was a pivotal point for me, saying if this does not... Well, 5 was the pivotal point where, okay, we're making we're going to make these big decisions for our family because we have not outgrown. So if you can desensitize a kiddo at age 4, then that might have put us in a good position to change some decisions that we made.
I find you guys just really interesting because, you know, other than his anaphylaxis when he was, 1 or less than 1, you guys practice strict avoidance. I mean, there was only one time ever that I remember that he had a mild accidental reaction.
Yeah.
And despite all those years of strict avoidance, at age 11, we're still at the point where he was one of those that did not outgrow it.
Did not, yeah.
Did not. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. It was, we are doing everything that we possibly can to do this right, and the numbers weren't coming down. And so my father-in-law's a doctor, and it was just like, what do we do with this? It was really looking kind of grim. Like, I thought if we were really careful and we made all these decisions to be able to make it as much as possible for him to outgrow his allergies, the numbers weren't moving. And so we are doing OIT with those numbers having not moved in a better direction, because that was our next choice. Like I said, we had to pick the lesser of 2 evils, and it was like, okay, strict avoidance is not working for us to help him outgrow this. That was really our goal, for him to get over the allergies, and our strategy was not working. Right. And we were doing it as we were getting an A+ on the strategy. So strict avoidance was not moving our numbers.
And my last question for you, because we're going to have this as part of our library for our patients who are considering OIT, is, how much work is it?
It's a lot of work.
We always tell people, how much work is it?
It's a lot of work. And that's why when I hear of the families who struggle through OIT with lots of reactions and things like, there's a lot of reasons. But just like with strict avoidance and the hard work that we did with that, OIT is just as much work. But I say there's more reward for that work than for the work that we're doing as strict avoidance. So just because Miles can now eat pizza with baked cheese, a certain kind of donut from Krispy Kreme, the little treats that he is loving having now, eating out in restaurants but ordering dairy-free, we still have to be super diligent. We're still checking his food. We're asking for glove changes. When we go on vacation, we're still doing a ton of protocol that we normally did with traveling with food allergies. But there are rewards for that work that we are putting in. And so if a family is not able, we have people in our membership group who have pulled their kids out of school to homeschool during OIT. We have, yes, we have had parents just make some big decisions like we made early on with strict avoidance to do OIT. So they're making big lifestyle decisions because they know that it is a big commitment and they want to succeed. So they want to do it really, really well, so that it won't take as long, and so that they get the most optimal end result that they possibly can for doing the oral immunotherapy work. So it is a lot of work, and it is not something where, okay, well, we're desensitizing now. We can go into a restaurant, order something, and if it has cross contamination, you know, you really have to still be communicating and doing your due diligence. I mean, we pretty much do everything that we did before, but we can seek out the rewards that come with that work.
So your message is really, it's the same work as strict avoidance.
It is the same work as strict avoidance. In fact, it's a little bit more work because I got comfortable knowing what we had to strictly avoid. You know, we were on autopilot. I mean, we were basically on autopilot knowing these are all the things that we cannot do and let's not ever do them and we will be safe. Now with OIT, it's we might be able to do that thing. We might be able to add that in. We're going to have to do a little experimenting, you know, within the parameters of our protocol and do it safely. And so that's where it can be a little nerve-wracking as a mom who's, you know, a big a big anxious ball of nerves when you have to do new things, but it's worth it when you see the rewards that you end up bringing in. So the
because
rewards,
your life is more normal now.
Our life is more normal now, and I would end this with saying that the end result is that my child is happier, and the mental and the emotional struggles that we were starting to see with strict avoidance are now gone. He is loving the adventure that we're on. He is willing to do the work for the benefits, and it has been totally worth it for us. Now, what that would look like doing it with younger kids, I don't know. I couldn't speak to that. But I'm so glad we didn't wait any longer because this was our time to move that needle in our allergy journey, and he is happy as pie. He is one happy kiddo. I will say we are maybe eating out a little too much now, Dr. Siri. And my food budget has been blown because I mean, you know, when you could never stop for a little snack before and now we can, I just am such a sucker. Like, sure, let's go get a slushie. So
just as a warning, you know, to end, you know, the side effect of OIT is eating out too much.
Eating out too much, yes. That's a good disclaimer. So yeah, I hope that answers some questions for your patients because I love working with you and partnering together to ultimately help make allergy lives better and happier and safer. So
thank you for doing this video with me.
You're welcome. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.